Hey there, hi there, ho there, Disney fans, and welcome to another Disneyland Paris show. I'm your host, Lucy Rain.
I'm Chris Fletcher.
Hello, children. I'm Hugh Rain.
And now, Disneyland Paris news.
Disneyland Paris has announced their Halloween and Christmas dates, with Halloween running September 26th to November the 1st, and Christmas November 7th to January the 6th. Both seasons will feature an adapted programme.
This week saw the first live show since reopening. Rhythm of the Pride Lands has returned to the Frontier Theatre with a few upgrades.
Hotel opening dates have been given a shake-up. The Disneyland Hotel will now open December the 8th instead of September the 7th as originally planned.
The recently opened Cheyenne will close October 1st and not reopen until March the 1st, 2021.
We finally have an opening date for the Sequoia Lodge of May the 1st, 2021.
The grand opening of the newly refurbished Hotel New York, The Art of Marvel, is now set for March the 8th, 2021.
And again, I'm going to do this in the style of a celebrity death. And finally, the UK government has imposed travel restrictions on France. Travellers entering or re-entering the UK from France will have to provide addresses in which they will quarantine or face a fee of up to £1,000.
I think it was poignant, Hugh. Poignantly read.
It was poignant. I wrote it and I've just realised the critical sentence of 14 days was left out there. Although I think our listeners probably know how long you've got to quarantine for.
So Lucy, how are you feeling about all this then?
I'm not feeling great about it, Chris. Let's get straight into it. It's and Hugh as well. But I think we all know by now that Hugh puts his underwear in a carrier bag and comes with me.
Life has numbed me anyway to even before this year. I'm not surprised by anything. I handled bad news really well, so having to cancel our holiday, it's like, okay.
No, do you know what it is with me? I'm really sharing. Sharing is caring now, listeners. I don't know if anybody else does this, but I find like I'm a really sturdy camel until that final straw kind of thing. And there's a lot going on at the moment with kids going back to school and dealing with all that, and it's not a great time to be a small business owner, and you've all sorts of worries and elderly parents with breathing difficulties and these kind of things, and you're absolutely fine, and then some small little thing happens and it absolutely crushes you. This is that small little thing. It's always Disney related. I think Disney is so my happy place.
There's been quite a bit of activity on Twitter the last few days about this. People upset, about the situation. And I said it's horrible to see people's magic being got rid of, basically, because this is your happy place, isn't it? Everyone's looking forward to these holidays, and then suddenly you can't go and do it, and it's just horrible.
So next week we were going to go to Village Nature and stop by Disneyland Paris for a day or three while we were there.
It was going to replace our main family holiday, which Disneyland Paris doesn't necessarily do. It tends to be a 2 or 3 day thing. We were going to go for a full 5 nights, 6 days. We were going to spend a good amount of time in Village Nature, and then maybe 2 or 3 days we were going to go into the parks. It ticked all the boxes in terms of what we wanted from our holiday. The price was right, the timing was right, and now we can't go because of the quarantine. Now the strange thing is, at other points in history, we would have just taken the quarantine, but Bonnie should start school 4 days later because we should get back on the 3rd of September, and she hasn't been. It would be bad any year, but she hasn't been in 6 months.
No.
So you don't want to miss the first week back. So we just can't, really.
I feel awful for you because, you announced it on the show last week, and we were chatting and we were all excited. We recorded midweek and you were still really excited, and we finished recording, and within 10 minutes the news had come through, hadn't it? And we were messaging each other going, have you seen this? Oh, it's horrible. Sorry, go on, Lisa, what were you going to say?
No, it's just that. I mean, there's too much bad stuff going on in the world to expect sympathy because our holidays have been cancelled. It's just, and I know everybody else out there has probably had holiday cancelled and birthdays cancelled. Oh, that's the other thing. It was really for Bonnie's 6th birthday, and she can't have friends and family around because we're in a lockdown area. We're in Kirklees, so she can't even have her aunt and uncle around the house. And we were meant to be in Florida. We're not going to be in Florida. We're not going to be in Disneyland Paris. We're not going to have any friends round. So I know that your little boy turned 7 under the same circumstances, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
So it's
been a lot of birthdays, hasn't there?
It's just one of those things. It's just an absolute bummer. I did look at moving it forward. Like, if we set off tomorrow, could we be back in time to do 14 days quarantine and still start work? But you can't move your annual leave forward.
Not just like that.
Not just like that. And truthfully...
My manager would have an aneurysm.
And I'm living a bit hand to mouth at the moment as well, and I can't just have 14 days off work when I get back and not do any lessons. So it's just one of those things.
No.
But I feel for the people who were there and rushed back.
Yeah, rushing back, yeah. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Well, anywhere in France... in the last couple of days, just it's been chaos, hasn't it?
I don't think many people got back, to be honest, because the only realistic form of transport was the tunnel, and they were pretty much booked up already, just with holiday makers. They couldn't put on extra trains. So from what I gather, there was no rushing back, really. I just don't think it worked. And I think if we'd been there, we would have just gone, oh, blow it, let's stay another 2 weeks. And, it would... I don't think we would have rushed back. I think we would have just taken it. But
I get that.
You don't know who's got job interviews in 2 days. You know what I mean? It's not that easy, is it? It's been an absolute...
There are no jobs at the moment.
But what else occurred to me is the hit that Disneyland Paris itself will have taken.
I thought you said Elsa curd, which is like a curd made from Elsa.
Ooh, what flavour would that be, Hugh?
Don't know, but it would be white.
Yeah, I'm thinking like lychees.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, it was last Sunday, I know when these two bits of news were, because the hotel one, it was the Christmas and Halloween one that was immediately after we recorded the
Monday morning, yeah.
Last episode. That was annoying. But the hotel one, I wonder if they had a small heads up, particularly looking at Cheyenne, if they knew that all the UK custom was about to disappear. No, because it's not reclosing until October the 1st.
Yeah, not till October, no. It's literally over the Halloween Christmas period, isn't it? And then into the beginning of the year.
But the Disneyland hotel isn't opening on the 7th as originally planned.
No. It might be a demand thing. I mean, if you think about it, there's a lot of people saying, people aren't too happy about taking the kids there at the moment, so it's a lot of diehard people who are going along, and maybe they're not actually having the demand that they expected, and that's just decided to hold off and push again in the new year. Also, It takes time, for most people, it takes time to book a holiday and arrange a holiday, doesn't it? And a lot of people have been moving out until, next year when they've had to move things, but also, if I've lost my train of thought. It just seems like it's a
demand thing.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I don't know. I'm speculating, completely speculating. But...
Well, there's two possibilities. It's either a lack of demand, or lack of capacity, creating a lack of demand, because they're guaranteeing park entry to all hotel guests. So they might have done the numbers as to what the capacity is going to be. They might have been liaising with the government and realised that they can't increase the capacity as much as they thought they were going to be able to increase the capacity. And ergo, they will have to sell fewer hotel rooms because they don't have the park capacity.
I was talking to Laura about this the other day, and obviously we went out Halloween a couple of years ago, and I know they have the parties and stuff. I don't know whether that's happening this year or not. I assume not, yeah. But they do get an awful lot of local trade during those periods of time, and I just wonder whether annual pass holders who are nearby and people who go for days and things, they still need to make sure that they've got capacity to let those people in, I guess, as well as the hotel. So maybe it's a bit of a trade-off of, like you say, we've got this capacity that we can manage with.
Yeah.
And if we open another hotel, then actually we're alienating a load of people who aren't going to be in hotels. So we need to make sure we keep the balance right.
I wouldn't imagine they would prioritise annual pass holders too much, because they've very kindly extended annual passes out of their own pocket almost, and they're not getting much more money from them because they're not paying for entry. Obviously they spend a lot on merchandise and food and drink. I do recognise that we've got value when we're in the park, but I wouldn't think they'd prioritise those over hotel rooms. Not
prioritise over, but there has to be a pot there for those people, because how likely are you to renew your annual pass if in the period of time when you could go there isn't any opportunity for you to be able to go? They've got to make sure that they can appease at least a proportion of those people, because they're just going to lose loads of annual pass holders in the future.
I mean, regardless, this really sudden quarantine thing, I think, has put the kibosh on, if not 100% of the UK business at the end of summer, at least 50% of it. I know there are still people.
Oh, yeah.
There are some diehard Disney fans who are going and just taking the quarantine. And like I say, we might have chosen to do that under other circumstances.
Yeah.
But a lot of the families now, particularly because we're getting school term, any family with children won't be able to do that quarantine.
Not when they've had 6 months off already, as you say. It doesn't make any sense, does it? I think most people want to hit the ground running when the schools open up again, and being in quarantine for 2 weeks is not going to help.
So that's going to have hit Disney hard. They're going to have a lot of cancellations, and they were good enough to put in the cancel for any reason clause, which hadn't been there before, and now people will be using it. It's just a bad business, isn't it?
They're going to need all these hotels open in March, then, aren't they, as a result of that? Because, assuming that they're thinking, well, do you know what, coronavirus might have done one by February, March time. The fact that the Art of Marvel's finally opening, Cheyenne will be open again, Disneyland Hotel will be open. When's Sequoia opening?
May.
I said, okay, so Sequoia won't, but then that Sequoia will be the only one not open then in March.
Well, that'll open for what they hope will be a full summer season then, because before May would be various levels of low season anyway. I know you've got Easter in the middle, but so it's opening for high season then, which makes sense. Now,
it does.
My theory with the Art of Marvel, I mean, obviously they're not opening a new hotel when they're still in Corona Cloud, but the progress on the Avengers campus looks to have rocketed ahead in the last couple of weeks for some photos that we've seen, and that looks like it might almost be on schedule. We were never given a schedule for it, but it was meant to be early 2021. So with them opening that in March and Cheyenne in March, I'm wondering if they're aiming for the Avengers campus to be March. You would be absolutely
I'd be very excited if that happened. Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Oh, that's interesting.
I mean, that's pure speculation.
Yeah, I know.
I have nothing to put that on.
You know what'll actually happen? It'll just be, we're going to open up the Cars tram tour.
Grand opening, bottle of champagne if and leave. Or worse case,
Jeremy Irons will cut the rope.
Yeah.
It'll be the week after you leave. That'd be awful, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'll be it.
Hello friends, here at 37 Disney Street, we've recently launched on Patreon. And if you become a 37 Disney Street pal by supporting us, we've got additional shows every week, including our new Patreon pub quiz.
I've got quiz fever.
And special shows that don't fit into our classic or DLP schedules.
Today, we're having a second look at Disney Plus, with some of our recommendations, plus the kids too.
We'll even ask you to get involved in our decision making with regular posts and polls. And to top it off, you'll have the satisfaction of knowing that the three of us all love you very much, as any funds we raise will go straight back into making our shows great. To find out more, search for us on Patreon or follow the link in the description for this show. Thanks for listening. See you real soon.
Dear me. So, I mean, yeah, you get up all the way through October and most of the way through Christmas with only 2 hotels, which is bonkers. Because you're not opening till the 8th of December for your Disneyland hotel, and Christmas starts on the 7th of November.
Yep.
Crazy talk. Right, what else have we got? Oh, well, let's talk about it then. Halloween and Christmas. They just announced an adapted programme, which we presume will mean no stage shows, no parades.
Okay.
But they might do little mini cavalcade things like they're doing at the moment. We're there for Christmas.
Hopefully.
Yeah, you are, aren't you?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
That would
Let's
be
be optimistic about it for now. Let's just start being optimistic about it.
It's just-
you're there for Christmas.
It's just an idea to me at this stage. It's like a nice idea.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. There's always... So, I don't know how it's going to go because they have the tree lighting ceremony. And
That's where they set the tree on fire.
yeah. And they've got Christmas parades that go like, I don't know how many times, 3 times a day, and stage shows and all sorts. So I really like these cavalcades, and for us who've been lots of times, I'm sure it'll be Christmassy and wonderful, but I am wondering for the friends we're taking with us. I hope they don't feel underwhelmed. I'm sure they won't. It's Disneyland Paris.
And they'll be with us.
Yeah, we're the magic.
We bring the magic.
And then, so you've been there for Halloween. I can confirm.
Both. We had the Christmas last year. Well, this year, didn't we? Kind of as well. New Year.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, the end of it. I can confirm that there is no hard ticket events. There's no parties this year.
Yeah, I assumed as much. Yeah, that's good though, because that was the worst thing about it. Was that 31st Halloween party where they basically shut off the park and sent us off round the back to keep us out of the way of the party goers coming in.
Yeah.
It was a bit weird.
But I mean, thing is about Halloween is there's lots of scope for meet and greets, isn't there? So that should be okay. But they also have a dedicated parade, which won't be happening. I don't know. It's the decoration and the music. It'll be fantastic. It'll be fine.
I'm sure it will, and like they've started doing the Rhythm of the Pride Lands thing started up again, hasn't it? So there's a scope that they might take like the show that they have on the stage on the castle stage and put that indoors somewhere so that you've got something to go and watch. That could be a way of getting around some of it.
Oh, I hope so, because I do not like that castle stage. I know it's
yeah.
I like that it's there and I like that stuff happens there, but I don't enjoy going there to watch things.
No, there's potential to be annoyed by people standing up.
Standing in the wrong place.
You
and
all
elbowing you out
sit
of the
down
way.
on the ground and then one person decides, right at the front, I'm just going to completely ignore the fact that I'm surrounded by dozens of people and I'm going to stand up.
And kids running about.
And then everyone has to stand up. And it's like, you know what? Now we're all stood up. We could have all been sat down.
You see, when I was there, it was Halloween and Christmas and it was freezing, so people weren't really sat down anyway. But I do take your point, Hugh. There's a lot of jostling for position goes on.
Right.
Chris, do you remember a couple of weeks ago I excitedly ordered a park bag?
Yes.
Because I have a little camera satchel, but it's I can get my camera in it, some sunglasses, and maybe a mask on the top. But that's it. Now, I ordered a little park bag, and it arrived, and it was a little Star Wars Stormtrooper bag. And here it is. I'm going to show it to you. And
that's cute.
I'm going to tweet it for the listeners, and it's going to be hashtag 37 Disney Street Stormtrooper. But what I didn't realise about this is it's actually an embossed face.
I was going to ask you whether it was embossed or whether it was just incredibly good art because
yeah,
protective,
and it just fits everything just nicely. So this is going to be my little park buddy for quite a while, I think.
Love it.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Be sure to look out for that tweet, guys. Hashtag 37 Disney Street Stormtrooper, and I'll show it to you.
Instagram, does it get on Instagram?
It probably will.
Excellent.
Hey, it's not to be missed.
Right.
Well, this has been a fairly down episode, hasn't it?
I feel like it has. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. We've had a few upbeat weeks because everything's been getting better and better and better since coronavirus hit, and I feel like this was the inevitable
backstep.
Yeah.
I think we'll just put a funky music bed under the whole thing. And it'll just
and I
lift
thought
it.
I might put some sparkly, magic-y jingles in now.
Yeah.
Just to help lift things a bit.
Maybe we should tease at the top of the show the fact that my bag's going to be shown, because I think that'll really get some excitement going, and it'll help carry the people through the show knowing that the bag's coming.
I like that idea, but I'm just not sure I've got the time to do that, I'm afraid, Hugh.
Fair enough.
Okay. Shall we say night, children?
Probably best, isn't it?
That's my line.
I know. Okay, thanks for listening, guys. Bye.
Good night, children.
See ya.